Should we worry that AI bots will drive your car? Also, do you worry that someone will take over the car and crash the AI-driven car? If you call an Uber next time you're in New York City or anywhere else, does it ever occur to you that the random person who picked you up in 2 seconds could drive you off the bridge and kill you with no way to appeal? It doesn't matter how well you eat, drink, live your life, be careful, or be in good shape. Michael Saylor, the founder and executive chairman of MicroStrategy, knows a lot about new technologies and the huge opportunities they offer early investors. He made a name for himself in investments, but many Bitcoin owners only know him for how strongly he feels about the biggest cryptocurrency. Ernst Young named Saylor High-Tech Entrepreneur of the Year in 1997, KPMG Washington named him that in 1996, and Red Herring named him that in 1998. The executive boss of MicroStrategy talked to David Lin about AI. Saylor supports Bitcoin, but he thinks AI is the best chance for businesses. He compares its rapid growth to that of cell phones and the internet, and he stresses how important it is to get in early to take advantage of its wealth-making potential. Smart investors and builders. In a recent chat with Graham Stephan and Jack Selby, Saylor talked again about the huge opportunities that AI provides and how it will change the world in the coming years. Saylor says that AI is the next big thing and that buyers have a very small window of time to get in before everything changes. You know, great science fiction writers were sources of ideas. There's a lot of great science fiction writers out there, but Heinlein is one of the best. He also writes great stories. He also supports smart money. So, his works are full of conservative economics, useful political observations, and inspiring stories about how technology has helped people. I believe that is a very significant event that shapes us. They were both very powerful politicians in their time, and they both told people that the government should have less power. Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand are very inspiring. So are the works of science historians Alvin Toffler, people who are big on trends, Future Shock, and all those other books that made you wonder how the world was going to turn upside down. That was really cool and interesting to me. Also, I believe Arthur C. Clarke has a saying that is very well known. In 1998, when the company went public, I put it on the back cover of my IPO draft. That phrase was really important. That is, he said, any technology that is powerful enough can't be told apart from magic, right? And that's what the great science fiction writers always said, where science fiction meets magic. Like, what is a magic mirror? I talk to myself in the mirror, and then someone replies, now you can look at an iPad or an Apple computer and zoom in on someone in Singapore. You can talk to them and they can talk back, which is pretty cool. Then they take your picture, plug you into an AI, bring you to life, and put you into cyberspace. And I'm talking to an AI that responds to my hand movements. Do I speak to a person, a monster, a witch, or a god? Where did the science end, you ask? Where did the story start? That's what made me want to start MicroStrategy, and our plan was for information to be everywhere. Allow everyone to become very smart. Like, I think about what these AIs can do now. That is, you can simply tell it to scan the whole body of human writing. It comes back in 100 or 500 milliseconds if you give me a Shakespearean poem, but not if you give me an M-style one. You know, people who are against AI often bring up worries. How about data protection, algorithm bias, and how AI technologies are used in the wrong way? Whitney Webb, a well-known investigative reporter, has warned many times that AI will be used to police everything we read, write, and do online in order to punish and shun non-mainstream groups. Concerns have also been raised that AI could take over human jobs and make people useless. However, experts say that while some jobs will be lost, many new ones will open up as we learn to live in this new world. In January, Saylor said on Twitter that there is no safe way to double your Bitcoin and that MicroStrategy does not give Bitcoin to people who read a barcode. Every day, my staff takes down 80 fake YouTube videos made by AI, but crooks keep posting new ones. Check during the meeting with Selby and Stephan. Saylor says that AI will greatly lower the number of accidents and make people live longer. Did you pray to your favorite saint, your evil twin, your AI, or your angel in the internet to find the answer? Okay, shut up. I think you did, right? You know, I asked God to help me write epic books 100 or 1,000 years ago, and God became a god. This is what the god of my show told me. Yes, there is no end to fiction or science because of this. I believe it is very inspiring because it makes you think, right? That is, what would happen if I could take every book ever written and put it on an iPad? Okay, for a nickel, I just gave 100 million books to 8 billion people. Okay, that's pretty cool. Not thinking in a straight line, that's more like second-order thought. Third-order thinking says, okay, let's just make every book non-material and then read every book. Then we'll have the same thing as a professor who has read every book, and you can ask the professor anything. Hey, can you just give me enough money to print a bunch of books and give you a big library? That's the first order. However, it is very, very expensive for the society to print the books. And it is even more expensive to make you read them. It doesn't matter if the computer printed them or read them. At some point, the fourth order says, hey, why don't you just read every book? Look over my shoulder. Think about what I should do, and do it okay. So are we going to worry about AI bots driving your car? Also, do you worry that someone could take over the car and say, crash the AI-driven car? When you call an Uber next time in New York City or anywhere else, do you think about the fact that the random person who picked you up in 2 seconds could drive you off the bridge and kill you with no way to appeal? It doesn't matter how well you eat, drink, live your life, be careful, or be in good shape. An unknown driver is pretty much in charge of your life. When you get in a taxi, you should be much more afraid than when you get on an airplane, because at least there are 2 pilots, and if they drink or do something else that's against the rules, they will be fired. There's also someone else on board to make sure they're sober, and if they lose it, sneeze, or have a seizure, there's someone else to land the plane. Now, I'm going to put you back in the wrong Uber in a different country that's weaving through traffic. Okay, you might think, wow, I'm too smart because I only do breathalyzer tests and personality tests on Uber drivers when I get in the car. The guy on the other side of the media and strip might have crossed your mind that he could just take a drug, drink something, and do this. A lot of people used to die when they fell off their horse. We didn't keep good records, so you don't read about it. A person could expect to live to be 50 years old if they lived in 1950, before technology. If you go back in time to 1770, the average age at death was 32. A person could walk by a swamp, get bitten by a mosquito, and die of malaria or a fever. Or they could live in a house that wasn't heated and die of asthma. People died of all sorts of things before technology. There are a lot of things to worry about now that it's the early 21st century, or the 20th century. If we let AI loose and let robots drive cars and fly planes, the average number of traffic deaths will probably go down. This is similar to how antibiotics, hospitals, and modern dentistry have made it possible for people to live an extra 30 years, even though they do so at some risk. We can think about everything. A discussion is going to happen. Democrats will say that you are safer in a car driven by a person than in a car driven by a machine. Most likely that won't happen, but people will think it does. And that's not our job, right? No matter what you think about it, it's likely going to be decided. Saylor said at a meeting a few months ago that Bitcoin is entering a gold rush decade, which means that more and more institutions are starting to use it and the price is going up very quickly. The executive head of MicroStrategy also said that self-driving AI will help with this gold rush. Bitcoin will keep the internet safe from the AI change. Exploiters. As a truth system, cryptographically signed messages, documents, and material need to have a watermark. Bitcoin is needed to do this. In March, Saylor said on a panel at the Bitcoin Atlantis conference that AI will be what makes people want to buy Bitcoin. You should give AI some Bitcoin if you want to make a copy of yourself that will live on the internet forever. The next few years will be very exciting for investors, especially those who take advantage of these statements.